So the markets have broken some very important levels last week for the bulls. So now what? I'm going to walk you through my exact game plan this week of how I plan on making money. I'm also going to walk you through a really nice setup that's starting to form right now on Chewy because it could be a potential big mover, and I'll show you exactly how I plan on playing it. If you are new here to real life trading, welcome. My name is Tony. I've been a full-time trader for over 7 years, and I have over 10,000 hours of coaching others and training them on how to trade the stock market safely and successfully. Every Monday, I walk you through my game plan for the week, teach you the levels that you should be watching for, and how to navigate those of what should happen when it gets there, and so that you can make easier money in trading. Because if you understand a few things, trading becomes so much easier, and I'm going to walk you through those things in this video today. So let's dive into the charts here and look at SPY. So SPY broke a very important bull level last week. This 630 level was a big deal. So the fact that we gapped it is really stating some strength, because gaps carry a lot of momentum and a lot of strength. The second part of the gap is the close. We didn't just gap across it, but the bulls failed to get it back up above it. So we ended up closing pretty weak. In fact, it went all the way to our next big level that I'll be watching this week, and that is 620. That is a monster options level. So if we jump over here to the options, you'll see these are all the expirations stacked on top of themselves for SPY. And you'll notice 620 is just absolutely loaded. If we get through 620, the market should start to drop pretty hard. And then 610 is really going to be the next big put level that I'm watching. And that just so happens to be a very strong support as well on SPY, as it is around that previous all-time high level. So I feel like this is going to be a very important buy the dip scenario. And this is where your bulls should be at. Anywhere into this range right here is going to be a really, really important level to watch and keep an eye out for. So add some alerts on your charts. My friends, alerts are the best cheat code out there. If you can come here and add alerts, just go to this little plus symbol on the right-hand side, click on it, add an alert on SPY, add an alert wherever chart you're on. Click on that, because then you can let the markets just do their thing. You can go live your life. You can be at work, whatever. And when your alert goes off, you can be like, cool, the markets are finally getting to that level, and now you can go into your phone or whatever, into your computer, set up your buy, and be able to trade these markets at the great levels without having to be in front of the computer all the time. So definitely set up alerts. You can see the alerts that I have all over the place right now. They are helping me to navigate the market so that I can go live my life and not have to be in front of the computers. So this level here is going to be absolutely massive. Anywhere from 615 all the way down to 600. Is where I expect bulls to be at. So short term, what do we have now? Well, we're getting actually a pretty nice gap up over the weekend. I feel like, though, that this is just a retest for these bears. This should be a bear opportunity. I'm going to be watching 630. 630 is going to be a very, very important level, because it's going to tell me if the bears are coming in and if we're going to rotate back down or not. If 630 really fails to hold and we are closing super strong, then there's a really good chance that the bulls are going to push us back into 640 one more time. So we'll keep an eye out for that. But really, this 10 EMA, the gap fill, and this previous resistance through here is all going to be an area where bears should be. So that's where I want to keep an eye out for. In fact, this could be potentially a pretty good area to get into some bear plays if you have not. So on a bounce back up, I will most likely be selling some bear call spreads way up high today to be able to capture some of that theta. But not only that, but possibly even grabbing some puts to take down into the 610 to 605 range that we were talking about, because that is where the bulls should be at. So there should be some pretty easy money coming through if the bears do rotate down. If the bears fail to rotate this thing down, then again, it will be a pretty easy day trade to the bull side, because this should be a very strong bull mover. So today is going to be a setup day. Today is going to be a let's sit back and watch the momentum and see what happens. If we start moving higher into this box range here and we start putting in upper wicks and the bears start to rotate over, it should have some pretty good bear momentum, at least into 620. So that's going to be our first real big battleground for the bears this week. 620 is going to try to hold with everything that it's got. And so if we can get through 620, that's going to be that door opening for the bears to push into the next level. And that next level, like I said, is going to be 615 down to 600. somewhere in there. It's actually a pretty wide level because there's a lot of support going through there, and it's just a matter of where the bulls step in. But this could chop in here for a little bit. It's very possible that 620 holds, and 640 should be the big line in the sand for the bears. So we could be getting some boomerang markets here over the next week or two, very possible. We could be getting a little bit of chop, rotation, and if 620 breaks, now we know the bears have fully taken over, and it's going to push it back down into the next key bull level. Now, if we go out to a weekly time frame, all this is just a pullback on an S curve, right? The market's moving S curves like this. Make sure you understand that pattern. Multiple candles, right? Going up, pulls back down, and then gets bought back up. Well, the weekly time frame has made a huge move up. Eventually, I don't know if this is the start of it or if it'll be later on, but eventually we're going to get a pullback and then a move back up. So I am very much looking to buy this dip because on a weekly time frame, it's very bullish. On a daily, we have broken some bull trend on a daily, and then of course on the smaller time frames like a 2-hour, we've definitely broken trend on a 2-hour, and I believe we're going to come back in, retest 630, maybe even 632 it looks like on a 2-hour time frame here, and most likely rotate back down, and then we'll see what happens when we get into there. My friends, if you are struggling in trading, it's not a strategy. It's most likely not even yourself that's causing the issue. It is understanding price action. Price action is what is going to allow you to diagnose the markets, figure out which direction they are wanting to go, and then apply your strategy to that. Price action is also going to help you control your emotions. Emotions come from a lack of answers, and price action gives you answers. Price action answers the question of, are we going bullish or bearish? Should you get in and should you get out? Or should you hold? Should you pass on an entry? If you can have answers to these questions, now you realize that your emotions in trading are so much more calm because you're not sitting there in the unknown, because that's really where the emotions start to fester and start to build back up. So yes, you need to have emotional control. Yes, you need to be able to control yourself. But at the exact same time, I've realized that a lack of price action understanding really causes those, what should I do? Right? Chasing strategies. This strategy doesn't work. I'm going to go to the next one. And it also causes a lot of those emotions because of the unknown. Should I get in? Should I get out? Should I hold for more? Should I cut now? Should I take profits? Price action answers all of those questions. If you would like to learn more about price action, if you'd like to learn more about trading, come check us out over at Real Life Trading. We give away tons of free trading courses. You can also join our community right now for $97 and you're in for the rest of your life. That's it. One time, you get access to over 10 hours of trading courses online, plus access to our community. You also get weekly group coaching with me and other professional traders where you can ask questions, figure out what you're doing wrong. It is a complete game changer. It's just $97 one time. Jump on that for sure. So that's my game plan here on SPY. It is still, in my opinion, very bearish until we start getting some daily closures above 630 to 632 range. Let's see what it does from there. If it does, that should open the door for 640. And then again, it's another question mark. What do we do in here? And it's just a matter of watching price action. Do we close strong? Does it hesitate again and putting in just a little bit bigger of a double top to fall back down? Time will tell, but this is going to be the key area for you to watch, for you to be able to figure out what's about to happen. So now let's jump on over here to Chewy, because I said Chewy's setting up for a pretty big move, and I believe it is. So if we pull up on a weekly time frame, we have made a strong higher high. Now the question is down here, are we getting ready for a higher low to be formed? I think we are. This was the previous EMA that we bounced off of before, the 50 and the 100, and we're working our way into there. The bulls are not really stepping in as strong as I was hoping to in this area, but I do feel like this support through here is extremely strong and should be a place where the bulls are going to come in if they're going to. So we've kind of put in a couple lower wicks here on a daily time frame, and it's holding its level. It's trying to hold its daily 200. If we start getting up above $37 on some daily closures, I feel like we could be making some moves back up into $38 to $39 this week. So it could potentially be pretty bullish for Chewy. If we start getting daily closures above $39 to $40, now we are really on our way. So that is my line in the sand, is about $39 here. If we close up above that, we should be pushing into the gap fill or back into this high around $50. So the door is going to open for some bull moves here soon, and we're starting to get a little bit of a base here. Remember, the bears should be in control in this area, but what are they doing? Every time they make a new low, it bounces. Every time they make a new low, get bought back up. Make a new low, get bought back up. Then the bulls committed. The bears came back in, which is really good for the bears, made a new low, and guess what? Got bought back up. So they are starting to show signs of weakness, that they are not taking ground and holding that ground. That is a sign that potential reversals could be on their way. And whenever we match that up here with this weekly time frame, letting us know like, hey, this is where our bulls should be anyways, it could potentially open the door for this to play out. So we want to keep an eye out for Chewy this week. Mark those areas out. That's what I'm going to be looking at, and seeing if we can't catch some bullish momentum and potentially have a pretty nice swing trade that we can hold for a week or two and make some really solid returns. My friends, I hope you enjoyed this video. Stay true to your plan. Be patient and understand price action. Go out there and learn as much as you can on price action. Come check us out over at Real Life Trading, and we'll give you a ton more courses on price action to help you on your learning journey of how to trade and navigate these markets. Because once you understand that, all your questions start to get answered. Should I hold? Should I get out? Should I get in? Should I not? And how you can lose small and win big. All is going to be revealed through price action. So understand that. Don't chase strategies. Strategies are important, but they're not going to be your answer. Not until you understand when to apply that strategy. And if you're hungry of learning how to trade, we have thousands of videos over the last 10 years here on our YouTube channel. Go to our channel, type in any question that you have, and odds are we've got a video on it, and learn how to trade so that you can change your life. I will see you later on this week, my friends.